Hello folks, welcome back. In this tutorial of Informatica Power Center 9.1, we are going to see how our source qualifier going to be used as a transformation. So far we have used a source qualifier in a job as a pass-through, but this time we are going to use it as a transformation or as a transformation which has its own significance. So let's check out the significance and mapping of your source qualifier, where it is pretty simple. We will have a source over here, source table, and we will have the qualifier for this. So this source qualifier is a default transformation present inside the Informatica Power Center. And we will have a target. So simply we can transform our data by using a source qualifier, where source qualifier typically used for the purpose of your SQL override and the purpose of your filtration and for the purpose of your join. So basically it's been said that when we are dealing with flat files, may not be our source qualifier that much important, but when we are dealing with databases or relational databases, our source qualifier is a mandatory transformation over there. What I mean by that, if you look into this note point I have mentioned over here, if a source is a database system, then Informatica recommends to filter data using source qualifier. Basically, the source qualifier transformation is going to be used as a transformation for the filter purpose if it is a database as a source. That means if this file or this table is coming from a database, then I recommend, or Informatica recommends, or it's a best practice to do filtration by using a source qualifier instead of a filter transformation. That actually improves the performance of my job. So that is the best thing about the source qualifier, and it is a best practice. Again, I'm saying source qualifier has certain transformation options. The first one is SQL override. Well, SQL override, it is a process of changing the default SQL using a source filter. It's my source filter. User-defined joins. It actually does user-defined join. Sorting the input data and eliminating the duplicates. That can be done from the source qualifier. Into the SQL override. Well, it's an active transformation used for read the data from database and flat file. And we know that it's a default transformation. When this default transformation going to be used as a filter, it will be recommended, or it's a best practice by Informatica to do filtration by using source qualifier instead of filter transformation. So we are not going to entertain the filter transformation separately when we have already the source qualifier in case of when my source is database. That means this table has taken from my relational database. At that time, we will do the filtration by using the source qualifier, not the separate filter transformation. Where if it is a table from flat file, we can go and apply another transformation over here called filter transformation. I can do the filtration from there. So let's check out how the mapping is going to be done inside this source qualifier. Alright, so let's move on to the tool side, guys. And we have already the system ready for job design, where services are already ready. So let me power up my Power Center Designer. So my Power Center Designer is now powered up. Well, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to connect with my repository. So we are connected with the repository now. I'm going to place open my folder where exactly I have did the development of entire thing. So we need to go back to the source site where sources are already ready. I have the source table already ready from the source database. The only thing I have to do is I have to define a target here. So in the list of the target, I am going to take it again, my EMP table over here, which is going to be called as EMP underscore SQ, source qualifier. And here it is my table. Let's me define my ports over here. Those ports I need and those ports I don't need. I need employee number, employee name, job. We don't need a hiring date. We also don't need the commission over here. We need the department number. Well, this is going to be my output, which I'm going to be filter out which department number I want looking to the target. So let's apply it. Let's say OK. And as it is in the SQL or Oracle, sorry, it's in Oracle, we need to create this table into the Oracle database. So let's go to the target menu, generate execute SQL. Let me connect to the SQL target. And here we are to the SQL target. We are now connected, and it's going to be for selected table only, execute SQL. And okay, so it says the name is already in use. So let me close it up and source qualifier transformation. SQT. All right, so that's look fine, right? And let me power up my SQL Plus also. And we are onto the target side, so let me connect to the target now. We are connected to the target, and let me see what are the tables we have it over here already. If it is already been said that it's there, so it will be there somewhere. Oh, it's there. But I have written SQ. Not an issue. I just want to check it the previous one, and I'll say describe, and my table name was EMP underscore source file. Let's have a look. It's been not here. So that's perfect. That's perfect. All right. So as outer table, okay, the name is already used in the existing object. All right, no problem. So I have just renamed it. Now we can do the creation of generate SQL. Well, let me check out SQT, execute, and it's been processed. Now it's been created. We can check it over here. Describe my EMP underscore source qualifier transformation. All right, so it's been created here. You can see that. So we are good to go. To design my mapping, I'm going directly to the mapping designer, and I'm going to create the mapping create MP underscore SQT source qualifier transformation. So this is the name of my mapping, where I'm having a source over here called EMP, and we got the source qualifier along with it. So what we are going to do in this is we are going to take it out to my source qualifier side, behave like it's going to be a transformation. Well, my target is nothing but it's SQT. Well, let me take off over here. So I'll do the modification inside the source qualifier, and then we are going to map it to the target. Let's have a look over here where we having a port over here, all the ports, which is going to be input output ports. Well, when we are going to the property tab of source qualifier, we can see that SQL overlay, basically override. So here I can specify the value for SQL query and user-defined join. We have a user-defined join. As I mentioned, SQL override, we have a custom SQL, we will have user-defined join, we will have source filter, and number of sorted colors. All right, so these are the things which we are having over here to determine it, where load is going to be happening. Where most probably this is going to be used as a replacement of filter transformation when My source is a database. All right, so let's going to be use source filter to work as a filter object over here, where I'm saying department number. My condition is going to be where department number is going to be like the 10 and 30. I just want to load a department number of my 10 and 30 to the my what we can say is it's going to be on to the all right. Have a look. Source filter. Okay, it's not connected. Well, it will be connected, then it will be validated. So let me have a look here. EMP name, EMP number, EMP name, and the job, and the salary. And here we go with the department now. Where let me go into the property one more time, and especially onto the source filter. I have to take up department number here, and department number in. I'm going to use a 10 All right, so I'm going to take up this thing over here. Apply OK, mapping validate, parsing complete with no error, mapping SQL is valid, repository is saved, and then I'm going to pick up my workflow designer, then I'm going to manage my workflow by using workflow manager. Then I have to create my task for the session. So task is going to be like session underscore EMP underscore SQT, that is source qualified transformation. All right, so from here, the list what I have, where mapping I have defined it by the name called, let me check it out at the bottom. Yeah, MP underscore SQT, and let me take it this mapping. And it's been taken over here, and I'll go to the mapping tab. Source, actually the source is coming from Scott, and the target is going to be my normal switching, and bulk to normal. Apply it. Okay, let's validate repository save. Everything done, but now I have to create the workflow here. WKF underscore EMP underscore SQT. So this is created here. Now I have a session already created, and from this I'm going to take it to my related session. I'm going to link both of it. Let's workflow validate. It's valid. Repository save. And now I'm going to trigger out start workflow. It's going to open my monitor. It's automatically going to be connected. And as it is processed perfectly, I just want to check it, how many data have been processed over here. 9 record from the 9 record have been processed inside it from source qualifier to the target table. Well, from the source qualifier to the target table, it's been processed here. Let's do it. Start from EMP SQT, EMP SQT, EMP underscore SQT. That's what my table name, and you could see that only 10 and 30 has been loaded over here. Where we haven't dealt with the sorting, we can do the sorting over there. We can mention the sorting code over here when we are dealing with the source qualifier property. Number of sorted port, it's not been mentioned. We wanted to have a number of sorted ports 1, and okay, all right, the port is here. So, well, number of sorted ports is 0 because nothing has been sorted as of now, and okay, and some user-defined joins can be also defined over here, where number of sorted ports, it's asking for like how many sorted ports are given over here when we are applying sorting. What I can do is in the SQL query, I can write an SQL over here to impose onto the particular database. Like here, I can make changes. You could see that ODBC data source connection. and I can directly impose my SQL onto the target side. Well, this is all about your source qualifier, and mostly it's going to be used uh, for the purpose of replacement of filter transformation to enhance the performance of the job when source table is a database. Always have to remember that source qualifier filter transformation is an active transformation, and it's having SQL override where we have custom SQL, we have shorting, we have filtration, and we also can define my join, self joins. Well, mostly it's going to be used for the purpose of filtration when the source is my database table. So as a replacement of my filter transformation, Informatica recommend to use source qualifier to performance enhancement. So in other words, we can call it Informatica recommends to use source qualifier for the purpose of filtration when the source table is coming from database in place of filter transformation. That improves the performance of the job, and the job what we are designing will be also simple. So this is all about for your the source qualifier, which is going to be behave like a filter transformation here, and that is how it's going to be work over here inside the Informatica Power Center Designer 9.1. Thank you very much, guys. Thanks for watching.